Welcome. Welcome on in to Lost in Our 40s, a podcast for women by women where we talk about everyday issues. Music by Atemi Oyungu. Welcome on in. This is my first live. I've never done a live. This is great. So, welcome on in. And today we are talking about a topic that has been coming up in my conversations recently. So I launched the book Date Like Cleopatra, The Good Girl Flips the Script. And I've been doing some marketing work. And around that, there's been a lot of conversations. Yes, first about dating, but then also about this question about money. Who the considerations in dating a broke guy or just a guy who the broke guy has this connotation of someone who's not even trying. So we're not talking so much about that element. That should be a straightforward no. We're talking about the guy who is earning, has earning capacity, is out there, but you earn more than him. And the question is, should you date him or not? So these are my views and my own experiences, but I'm talking as a bigger sister. Things for you to think about when considering this relationship. And I frankly only have 2 points, but two powerful points. So I'll start the first one. My first one, I'll start off with an example. Imagine that you meet Beyonce. She had a concert, everything was amazing. And then somehow after the concert, she, instead of going backstage, she goes out into the hall and starts interacting with people. And it's so exciting, so exciting. And you are with a bunch of your friends and you're thinking how cool it is because you're standing on the side and you're watching her and the people she's interacting with, and you're thinking, how amazing would it be to meet Beyonce? So one of your friends shoves you. Or one of your friends, I mean, because you're in your friends, you're huddling and you're saying, we could never do that. But one of your friends shoves you forward and says, you have the confidence, you go. So you get shoved into the group where Beyonce is with, and somehow you find yourself not even at the back. You just find yourself somehow, you end up somewhere very close to her, next to her. And she is the sweetest person, having a conversation with people. She's telling them about dancing and, life with children and how it is being on the road. She mentions the way she has an injury on her leg, and you're just thinking that this is the greatest day of your life. And then she starts dancing, and you all start dancing together, and you're thinking, this is so cool. This is amazing. You would never in a million years have expected this to happen. Cool. Then you keep there. You the conversation carries on. The conversation carries on, and at some point you actually do wonder at the back of your mind, doesn't she have minders? Does it's amazing that she has this time for you, but you're thinking, oh, will she get in trouble? Is she really allowed to be spending all this time with you? And there you are, you're wondering, you're asking yourself, oh, then as it happens, something within the heat of the moment, she remembers that she lost her phone somewhere. And then you say that, you'll go look for it. And you're just so excited. Imagine getting Beyonce's phone. So you actually go and you find it. But now she has left. Now her minders have come and taken over. She has left and gone to where she's meant to be. But then when you go mention to one of her minders, she says that, a message had been left for you because you were so kind as to be the one to get the phone. You're invited over to her place. And your mind is blown. You're like, oh my God. Oh my God. Can this really be happening? Is this true? So good. Fast forward to the date when you go over to Beyonce's place and you are completely floored. Everything is wonderful, everything is amazing. You get to spend one on one time with her, you meet her family, and you think you couldn't have dreamed this if you wanted to. Okay, so then you exchange numbers. Before you know it, Beyonce and you start a conversation. You're chatting, you're chit chatting. And then she's telling you just stuff as in she's just a normal person. And you're thinking, this is so cool. She listens to you when you tell her stories about your life, and she tells you stories about her life, and it's so cool, it's so amazing, and you're like, ooh, wow, wow, this is life. And then she starts texting you a lot. It's not of subtly, but then she is the one who's then somehow always looking for you. What's your weekend plan? What are you up to? She's inviting you over to her place. She's She's a little much. She she's sending you over tickets to some of these other superstars because she has a lot of access. Then she gets pouty when you don't text her back. She's a lot. She's a lot. And then somehow your appreciation for Beyonce reduces. Why? Because this person who was a one off superstar, whose ticket you never thought you'd be able to afford to see her on stage, you are hoping that you'd be able to get a ticket on the back row to be able to see her from the cameras because you couldn't see her from the stage because you were so far, is now the person who is so available. They're just there. They're just a text away. When you call, when you text, actually, she answers immediately. You start asking yourself, didn't she have anything else to do? Why? What's wrong? I'm great, fine, but I'm not that great. This is Beyonce. I did not expect to have this level of access to her. And somehow, Hasta starts fading. She's no longer as great as she initially was. You're no longer as fascinated by the idea that, you can dial up Beyonce and speak to her on phone. All this story to say, consider this now, take it to the male female relationship. We do this, I've done this. I give you a lot of these stories from my own examples. What happens sometimes is that you find yourself chasing a man. So you were Beyonce. You were the star. He never imagined that he'd be able to get some time with you. He had fantasies about the way one day she shall talk to me and look me in the eye and we shall have a conversation, and he shall fawn, and that will be more than he ever expected. But then here you are the one texting him randomly. When he calls you, you're jumping up and down to be able to answer his phone. When he suggests something inappropriately, because men test you. So when he tests you to see whether he calls you on Friday to see whether you're available to do something at 11 p.m., you jump up. You were in bed maybe, and then you jump up and you say yes, and you get dressed, and then he doesn't come. And then when you talk later, you say, "Oh, it's okay. I understand you're busy, baby." No, this reduces your allure. You're no longer shining bright like a diamond. You're now just a lump of, what is it? Not cool. I forget. A lump of something. There's nothing. I'm trying to remember what diamonds are made of. Is it carbon? Anyway. So yeah, you're just there, you lose your allure. Now, to tie this to the main topic we are discussing, that is my first point. That when a man, everyone has an ego, but there's something about the ego of a man, especially a man who hasn't done so much inner work, that is center stage. So if he earns less than you, and because of that you are the one who is paying for things, you are the Beyonce who is sending tickets. Yeah. Maybe she was sending you flight tickets. Come see you. I'm in this town. Come see me here. So she'll send you the flight ticket. She'll send you the ticket to the performance. She might even get you a hotel booking because she probably gets those things for free. And now suddenly you're like, this girl. That's exactly what you're doing when you are the one who is investing monetarily into the relationship. This guy who thought that you were amazing and everything more than he could ever handle now has you buying his milk. It doesn't go down as well. And from a woman's perspective, because I have done this, from my perspective at the time, it was more like, we like each other, we want to spend time together, there's nothing wrong with this. Money is not so much of an issue. The capitalistic world shouldn't dictate what happens. If we have found each other and this relationship is working for us, let us not have something as petty as money come in the way. But from his perspective, it is just, she likes me so much. It's overboard. It's overboard. Why would she be paying for the Beyonce tickets if now you want to go for a show? Because that's actually the second point. The second point is that the activities, whatever it is that you like to do, again, if you go back to our Beyonce concert example, you can afford to go to your Beyonce concert, but perhaps he can't. So the activities that you're carrying on in your relationship, such that even if you've decided, no, you are not going to be meeting the costs, you are not going to be spending the money, it limits then the things that you can do. Because if he can't afford to go to a Beyonce concert, yes, you could go alone, which is fine. But then from the relationship perspective, the things that you do together as a couple are limited, because then they must be limited to the things that he feels comfortable either to pay for you as well, meaning that he would have to pay for 2 Beyonce tickets, or to pay for himself, depending on how that relationship is working, who's paying for what. And then you find yourself, this again from my own example, you find yourself limiting the things that you do, because now, look, he feels bad. Again, these are the kind of men who are yet to do sufficient work on themselves, so the inner work. And maybe I shouldn't put it that way. Maybe I shouldn't limit it to the man. Maybe it is just the time and space where people are. It's not whether or not he's done his inner work, but it's also the dynamics of that relationship. So if at all the first point was already true, that you were already paying for stuff and things were not, he had already started seeing you as less alluring, then he gets already less motivated to do things with you. Then that's when you start hearing comments of, why would I pay for you? You have more money. Something along those lines. Or you start getting the feedback of, no, you go do that, I'll go do that. But with a connotation that's not friendly. It really gives a slide to that relationship, because then money becomes that elephant in the room, where you yourself were doing things with a good heart. Because, and I think for a lot of women, this is where we stand. It's not so much that, oh, come, I own you now because I have cash. Nothing like that. You have the purest of intentions. You have the purest of intentions, and you do believe that the world shouldn't be this way. The world should be one where people are not limited in their relationship prospects based on the amount of finances that they have. But then the reality on the ground is this: if from his financial perspective, going out to dinner every week is asking for way too much, and for you, going out to dinner every day would be fine, then you have to reduce the activities that you would have wanted to engage with, in order as not to dampen his ego, not to bring down his self-esteem. Because now he's thinking that he's in this relationship with this girl, but he can't afford to do the things that she wants to do. And then what happens? It becomes a bit of a question mark. It could be that then he says, okay, this is not the thing for me. And from your perspective, because you were thinking that money is not a thing, you're thinking, no, we don't have to do these things. Let's do this together. But it has that, it's important. It's a truly important factor. So in my experience, to get away from those dynamic difficulties, my own experience and my own advice to me and to anyone who'd agree would be to date someone who's earning the same level as you or more. Then from there, you don't really have these issues. Yeah, and understood. You are good, which is part of the problem. But yeah, so you're the good girl. But let's let this one is not necessarily so much from the good girl perspective, more from the world is a fair place perspective, and money should not be that important. It shouldn't be, but here we are. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for making my first live easy. The book Date Like Cleopatra is out. Get it on Amazon. In Kenya, you can get it at Textbook Center, Nuria, or call the line that's down in my description. WhatsApp it and you shall get free delivery within Nairobi CBD. Cheers, the girls. Have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.